It's sorry to say, but our beloved Warcraft company has been dying a slow and painful death over the years. And once again, it was nice of them to acknowledge all of the negative backlash after 6 goddamn months, but it really doesn't mean a goddamn thing until they do something about it. And personally, I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't think that they will. What is going on, everybody? Xaenca here, back once again with another video just for you. Friendly reminder as always, if you do end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Well friends, I hate to say I told you so. And I know a lot of people say that, they don't really mean it, they kind of say it sarcastically, but I really hate to say I told you so. If you've seen my previous videos, then you know that this is not the first time I've ragged on Blizzard, but it's not like I enjoy seeing Blizzard fall apart like this. I, like many of you, used to love Blizzard, and some of my fondest gaming memories involve playing Blizzard games. I mean, do you remember how awesome it was being a kid and playing Warcraft? Let's not even get started on the others like StarCraft and WoW. But ever since the merger with Activision, the company's just not been the same. Like a goddamn parasite, Activision latched onto Blizzard and just started sucking the life out of it. And over the past few years, the shit they do is just inexcusable. I know a lot of you were thinking, man, it can't possibly get any worse from Diablo Immortal, they can only go up from here, right? Well, call me cynical or a pessimist or whatever, but I pretty much said in the last video that I didn't think that they would do anything to right the ship. And for a while there, I thought I might be wrong, you know? They announced Diablo 4, they're working on Overwatch 2, whatever you have in Overwatch 1 will carry you over, which is great. They had the World of Warcraft expansion stuff that looked pretty cool, and I was like, man, I may have been wrong about this. Maybe they can fix the mistakes that they've made. Maybe they can repair the relationship between them and their PC user base. And then came Warcraft 3 Reforged. Man, I was so excited when this game was announced. Remember how excited everybody was?
The reign of chaos has come at last.
And why wouldn't you be? One of the greatest video games of all time, remastered with new graphics, updated cutscenes. It was reworked for a modern age, and you're like, man, I can't wait to play this. They can't possibly screw this one up, right? Of course they can, it's Activision Blizzard, all they do lately is fuck up. A user on a Warcraft 3 subreddit by the name of Holy Furor listed all of the missing features, basically all the features that existed in Warcraft 3 that did not exist in Reforged, including automated tournaments, clans, profiles, ladder, 3D animated campaign backgrounds, 3D animated portraits in Battle.net, slash commands in Battle.net chat, communal channels listings, the ability to play custom campaigns, the news section, ROC campaign balance, which now use TFT balance. Is how does this happen? Like, I know you could still play custom maps, just not through custom campaign, but it just doesn't make sense how this was even allowed to happen. And to make things worse, if you didn't like these changes, which obviously a lot of people didn't because, you know, it's releasing a half-baked game missing features from the original, if you were to say, screw this, I'm not playing Warcraft 3 Reforged, I'm just gonna go back to Warcraft 3. Well, you can't do that now either, because when you try to launch the old Warcraft 3 client, it forces you to upgrade into Warcraft 3 Reforged, so you can't even play the old game. They took the servers down. So you can't even do that. All you have is this half-assed version with less features. And then somehow, because it is Activision Blizzard, they find a way to make it even worse. Because just like Bethesda, they decided to also take a shit on the modding community. Posted by Man-Eating Boar on the game's subreddit, in the new terms of service supplied by Blizzard with the release of Warcraft 3 Reforged, there's this little tidbit. To the extent you are prohibited from transferring or assigning your moral rights to Blizzard by applicable laws, to the utmost extent legally permitted, you waive any moral rights or similar rights you may have in all such custom games without any remuneration. Not only must you hand over the intellectual property of any content created within or for the game, but if local law prevents it, you must assign your moral rights to Blizzard. He adds, this is terribly anti-consumer, prospective map makers and designers, this game is probably not worth the effort required. What happened to the newfound land of modding? Well, in this particular case, Dota happened to it. For those of you that don't know, for which I'm sure there are very few, but Dota was a custom game modded through Warcraft 3. So the entire MOBA genre came from a mod in Warcraft 3. Some of the modders eventually created League of Legends, others created Dota 2, but the point is, with this update to the terms of service, that would never happen because you would sign over all your rights to Blizzard. I mean, look at this wording, for Christ's sake. Custom games are and shall remain the sole and exclusive property of Blizzard. Without limiting the foregoing, you hereby assign to Blizzard all of your rights, title, and interest in and to all custom games, including but not limited to any copyrights in the content of any custom games. If for any reason you are prevented or restricted from assigning any rights in the custom games to Blizzard, you grant to Blizzard an exclusive, perpetual, worldwide, unconditional, royalty-free, irrevocable license enabling Blizzard to fully exploit the custom games or any component thereof for any purpose and in any manner whatsoever. Wow, can you imagine the dickhead that had to write this, or the group of dickheads that greenlit this whole thing? It's like, wow, Dota was super successful and spawned an entire genre based on a mod of our game, and we were too stupid to lock it down at the time and purchase the rights from them then. Instead, fuck all modders, we don't have to purchase shit. We'll just modify the terms of service. Hopefully nobody reads this, because then you just do all the work and we take it from you. Activision Blizzard, baby. I'm not gonna go through the rest of the terms of service. You can check it out if you want. It's just a whole shady ordeal. So what are we left with? Okay, so we got new graphics, but then like some would even argue that the graphics are somehow worse in this version. How do you remaster a game that's this old and somehow make the graphics worse? That makes no sense, but leave it to Activision Blizzard, man. They'll figure it out. They'll find a way. Ooh, and then there were the whole updated cutscenes we were all excited about, right? We're like, man, if we play through the campaign now, we get to see it from like more cinematic angles with cutscene worthy graphics. You know what I mean? It's like, this is what they showed us, and this is what we got. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, I know they updated the character models at least, but oh my god, if this is what you promise and then this is what you deliver, it's not even surprising that you managed to break the record. You managed to become the lowest rated video game on the history of Metacritic. Congratulations, Activision Blizzard, because for years we as gamers were all convinced that the title of shittiest video game developer ever was EA's and EA's alone. But you guys were like, hold my beer, and came in and just swept the rug right out from under them. Oh, and it gets worse, because of course it does. It's Activision Blizzard, baby, you know, because when you release a shit product, what tends to happen is people want to return it. They want refunds, they want their money back. But not only was Blizzard not allowing refunds, they were also banning people for complaining about not getting refunds, and banning the people that were helping explain how they got their refunds, you know, trying to teach people how they can possibly get their refunds. This company is just irredeemable. It's just, what the fuck, man? It just hurts, man, because Blizzard used to be one of the best companies out there, and now, what the fuck is this? Well, over the few days after that, the backlash got strong enough where they were forced to issue automatic refunds. No questions asked. If you played the game, if you didn't play the game, they'll just refund your money, because no one should have had to deal with this piece of garbage in the first place. They didn't go out of their way to let anybody know, by the way, that they were issuing automatic refunds. No statement was made about it. It just, like a switch, turned on. Like, oh, now everybody gets automatic refunds. You know what I mean? In case you stop trying, they can hold on to your money at that point. You know, the typical grimy shit that a company like this would try to do. And when they finally do release a statement, it's as half-assed as everything so far. Obviously, it's Activision Blizzard, baby. Kaivax, one of the community managers, posts on the Blizzard forums, "Hail War 3 players, we've been following the discussions the past couple days and want to thank you for your feedback as well as your support. First off, we want to say we're sorry to those of you who didn't have the experience you wanted, and we'd like to share our plans for what's coming next. There were a few hours during launch day where we experienced server load issues that impacted players' ability to jump right in, but we were able to resolve those later in the day." What the hell is that? Is like, you want like a pat on the back? You want a cookie? Like, you released a game broken and you fix it the same day. Okay, so it's now where it should have been to begin with. Like, what is this? You don't get credit for doing your job. And it's not even doing your job, because if you did, it would have worked from the beginning. You wouldn't have had to fix it. So thanks for fixing your own mistakes that shouldn't have been there to begin with, Blizzard. Separate from that, we've seen community feedback about different aspects of Reforged that we wanted to take some time to address. Before we go on, the team is excited that Warcraft 3 Reforged is finally upon us, and we're fully committed to supporting the game for a long time to come. The next few patches and updates we'll discuss below are just part of our ongoing plans. This game is an integral part of the Blizzard DNA, with a team that loves Warcraft 3. Don't love it enough apparently, and we're looking forward to pouring our hearts into Reforged and the Warcraft 3 community for the long term. In this section, he just talks about patches and bugs, and those patches are going to fix those bugs, and there's going to be a major patch that's going to fix the whole clans and leaders things. It's going to transition the MMR system and all that shit, but it just brings back the same argument, and it's not just Blizzard that's guilty of this, it's the whole gaming industry. Like, why can't you release a finished product? It's like in more than one way, not just with modding. Blizzard has learned so much from Bethesda, release an unfinished product and just patch the shit out of it later, AAA is the new early access, guys. Cause I don't know about you guys, I love paying for unfinished products. Ooh, skipping ahead, this is like my favorite part about all this. Related to that, as we talked about last year at BlizzCon, we did not want the in-game cutscenes to steer too far from the original game. We went a little deeper into the thought process behind that at the show, but the main takeaway is that the campaign tells one of the classic stories in Warcraft history, and we want to preserve the true spirit of Warcraft 3 and allow players to relive these unforgettable moments as they were, albeit rebuilt with new animations and higher fidelity art. Wow, what the fuck is that? Never mind, I know what that is. That's Activision Blizzard, baby. That's the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. Come on, guys, it doesn't matter how excited every single fan of Warcraft was when they saw those new animations. We decided that the only way to truly experience the storyline of Warcraft is through the old shitty cutscenes, you know what I mean? You don't wanna see the new updated, well-animated cutscenes. It's not gonna be the same. You won't feel the same, especially after we threw money at this thing and realized it was just gonna cost too much money and resources to update all of the cutscenes that, yeah, we'll just use the old ones and come up with some bullshit explanation about how it's a piece of art. You can't make those changes, it's a piece of art. We'll update the models, higher fidelity models, but we won't change the animations, just too much work. But also, it's a piece of art, can't make those changes. We know this update doesn't address all questions, and no, it doesn't. They're committed to the development and support of this game, but I don't buy it. They didn't talk about the terms of service thing, the modding thing. I mean, they're not going to. There's no this is art explanation to get themselves out of that, unless they completely change the terms of service to make it the way it used to be, but they're not going to do that. This is Activision Blizzard, the grimiest of the slimiest companies around nowadays. We saw them turn their back on us with Diablo Immortal. We saw them turn their back on us by banning Blitzchung during the Hong Kong protests, by banning the dude who did the OK hand symbol. We saw them turn their back on us by starting to shove identity politics and social justice propaganda into their video games, tokenism in Overwatch, etc. And you know what? It's not turning their back on us, it's just slapping us all in the face. All of those things and Warcraft 3 Reforged are a big slap to the face of anyone who ever supported this company. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. If you did end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends, family, whoever you think would be interested in nonsense like this. Subscribe, click that notification bell, and click all so you can always be alerted every time I put out nonsense like this. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.